Hi Andrew, welcome to Hinch Distillery. I'm Heather McCracken and I manage the Legacy Cask programme here. This is my colleague Terry McCartan, who's our brand ambassador.
Hi Andrew, we're in our welcome centre on Hinch Distillery on Cleany Estate, and today we're going to take you on a virtual tour through the distillery, looking at the process of mashing, distillation and maturation, and follow the entire journey of a cask. We're going to start off in our ingredients room, so if you want to follow us. So we're here in our ingredients room where we welcome our guests to the beginning of the tour and walk them through the history of distillation. We can date Irish whiskey back to around the year 1000 AD when Christian monks brought the technique of distillation back from Southern Europe. Nowadays we will use many different grains to make different types of alcohol, and in Ireland to make whiskey we primarily use barley. The process of adding barley to water and yeast has been around for thousands of years, but the technique of distillation has only been perfected in the last few hundred. We currently source all of our grain from the island of Ireland, and we've recently secured crop rotation contracts, meaning that we'll be getting all of our grain from within a 12-mile radius of the distillery by 2026. So here we do a quick demonstration with our guests, mixing our grain with our water, and this is where we begin to break down the sugars that we've released through our mashing stage. So here we've created a grist by grinding down our malted barley, and we then add water, and this allows the sugars to dissolve into the liquid. And upstairs we then add yeast, which will consume the sugar and turn that into starch, which we can then make into alcohol.
We're now going to move upstairs into the heart of the distillery and show you how we do this process on an industrial level. So if you'd like to follow me. Hi Andrew, so now we're in the heart of the distillery and this is where the magic happens. So the process that Terry talked you through downstairs, this is what we do here but on a much larger scale, and Terry's going to talk us through the process.
So this is the mash house, and it's the first stage of the process of creating alcohol. The large copper vessels behind are the mash and larder tun. In there we'll mix 1 ton of grain with 4,000 litres of hot water. We'll repeat the process in the second vessel, and that'll mix for around 6 hours. By the end of that we have a sweet sugary liquid, but there's no alcohol just yet. In the silver vessels here are fermentation tanks which go right down to the ground floor. We'll add 10,000 litres of this sweet wort and then add our yeast, which comes in a powder form. Yeast is a sugar-hungry fungus, and it's going to gobble up any of that glucose and convert it into CO2 and alcohol. We finish the process here after around 5 days, and we've now created an alcohol strength of around 8% ABV, alcohol by volume. This part is pretty much natural biology. When we get over to the stills, that's when we start to look at the chemistry side of things.
You want to follow us over to the stills?
So our still house here is our large chemistry set, and in Ireland we typically triple distill our liquid. Our stills are named after 3 local mountains here in County Down: Donard, Croob and Wee Binion. Donard is the largest still and it holds 10,000 litres. Croob holds around 5,500 litres and Wee Binion around 2,500. Donard is the largest peak in Northern Ireland. Slieve Croob is the source of the River Lagan, which flows through Belfast, and Wee Binion overlooks the Silent Valley Reservoir, where we draw all of our water from at the distillery. Distillation is essentially the separating of liquid by boiling point, and alcohol boils at a much lower temperature than water. So we'll take 10,000 litres of our 8% wash. It goes into the bottom of Donard and we bring it up to 78.5 degrees. This will run for around 12 hours and we turn that liquid into a gas, let the vapour contact the copper at the side of the still and then condense it in the large column. We repeat that process a second and then a third time, every time increasing our alcohol strength, bringing it from 8% to 23 to 60 to just over 80% alcohol. At this point, we've created new make spirit. This isn't whiskey just yet. We will cut that down with water to around 65%, Then we barrel it and send it off to sleep in the warehouse.
Can you talk us through the spirit safe, Terry?
So the spirit safe here is where our distillers will break up the different liquids we create. The first still will link to the first fountain, and the green grist we can see here is copper sulfate. We're removing harsh, scratchy elements from the liquid. When we get to our second and third fountain, we can see the liquid getting clearer and more refined each time. Here we've brought it up to 60 ABV, and here in the last bowl it's sitting at just over 80 ABV. This is our new make spirit, and it's what will one day become whiskey after it's matured.
If you want to follow us on round, and we can show you where the term angel share comes from. So just last year at Hinch, we could produce 400,000 litres of alcohol. We've doubled our capacity, and now we can produce 1.2 million litres of alcohol, and this is to meet with our growing export demands. We're currently in 35 markets globally, in countries including Canada, Taiwan, Japan, China and the USA.
You can see behind our washbacks the three angels. These are to mark the triple distillation, but also the angel's share, which is a bit of folklore surrounding distillation and more so maturation. Centuries ago, when monks would mature the liquid, a little bit would evaporate into the ether. They didn't have the scientific knowledge we do now and assumed that it was the gods taking back their share after giving mortals the knowledge of how to create alcohol. Now we know it's natural evaporation, and we're quite happy to let the angels have a little bit of alcohol as long as we can get our whiskey afterwards.
We're just going to make our way down now into the spectrum room, and we can show you the effects that the barrel will have on the liquid. We're now in the spectrum room, which is my favourite room in the distillery, and this is where we explain the process of maturation once the liquid is filled into a barrel.
So the different coloured bottles on the wall behind me represent the liquid moving from spirit into whiskey. Legally, Irish whiskey must be at least 3 years old. There's a legend that says it must be 3 years and a day, but this is a bit of folklore coming from maturation warehouse masters sampling a bit of their own product. We will age our whiskey in ex-bourbon barrels which come from Kentucky. We mentioned the angel's share outside, which is the liquid that evaporates into the ether, but the white line here is known as the devil's cut. It's 3% of the previous liquid stored in this barrel. So when we use an ex-bourbon, which is a corn-based liquid, it gives a sweet toffee and vanilla flavour to our whiskey as a base profile. We can then finish that liquid in the likes of a sherry barrel to sweeten it, or a virgin oak barrel to make it more savoury. A still will only ever make spirit, but it's a barrel that makes whiskey, giving it 2/3 of its flavour profile and all of its colour.
At Hinch, we're in the unique position to have our own bottling line. This allows us to further fulfil our cask owners' needs to bottle their liquid at the end of maturation, if requested. Hi Andrew, we're standing in our maturation warehouse, and this is ultimately where the barrels will be brought to and stored once filled with our new make spirit. I want to introduce you to Michael Morris, our International Sales Director.
Hi Andrew, and hello everybody. Just to tell you a little bit about our warehousing here at Hinch. We're standing in warehouse number 1, where we keep 8,500 casks of our new make spirit. As you can see behind me, it's quite an extensive operation. Here is where the casks are kept for as long as people are looking to mature them. They're held here securely on our property. Our capacity is now over 1 million litres of alcohol. That equates to around 8,500 casks a year, so that is a huge warehousing undertaking. This is warehouse 1, but we're currently in the process of building another 2 warehouses on site here at the distillery, and ultimately we'll have nearly 30,000 casks here on site. And everything is held here under the supervision of our head distiller, Will Stafford, and his team. As a final reassurance to our current customers and any potential new customers, all of the casks are stored here and registered in the names of the owners of the casks.
Thank you, Michael. And Andrew, I really hope that you've enjoyed our whistle-stop tour of Hinch Distillery today, and I would like to extend a warm welcome to you and any of your clients. You're more than welcome to visit the distillery at any time.